Hi, this is Everyday Movie Recap. Today we're breaking down a drama film called Materialists 2025, a sharp, modern take on love, wealth, and what it really means to be chosen. The movie begins with a woman named Lucy. She's in front of a mirror, putting on lipstick. Once she's done, she heads out. While walking down the street, she crosses paths with a man and hands him a calling card. That's when we find out Lucy is a matchmaker on her way to meet a client. Lucy gets a call from James, the guy Sophie went out with recently. She tells him Sophie is interested in a second date, but he quickly shuts it down. He says he wants to be removed from the service because she's not what he's looking for. According to him, she's in her 40s overweight and just doesn't meet his standards. What he really wants is someone slim in her 30s with a great smile. Lucy apologizes and ends the call. Later, Lucy meets up with Sophie. With a big smile on her face, Sophie thanks her and says she's looking forward to her next date with James. But Lucy gently breaks the news that she already spoke to him and he doesn't want a second date. Sophie tries to keep it together, but the disappointment is obvious. Lucy reminds her that dating is a risk and just taking the leap is brave. She offers to set her up with someone new, but the rejection has already taken its toll. Sophie says she's tired of wasting her time. She's not asking for a miracle, just the bare minimum. Someone kind, someone to settle down with. Lucy listens and reassures her.
You're going to marry the love of your life.
After her meeting with Sophie, Lucy heads straight to Adore Matchmaking, the agency where she works. Inside, her co-workers are celebrating. One of Lucy's clients, Charlotte B., is getting married. We then learn that 9 couples have already tied the knot thanks to Lucy's matches. Later, out on the office balcony, Lucy talks with one of her colleagues. They end up discussing Sophie. That's when Lucy admits something: there isn't a single man in New York who wants to be with Sophie. Even so, she says Sophie is her favorite client because despite everything, Sophie is a good woman. Lucy still believes that somewhere out there's a man who wants a nice girl. Next, we meet Harry, who overhears Lucy telling a group how she matched the bride and groom. She says finding love can happen anywhere, even on an app, and choosing a partner is basically choosing your future roommate and grave buddy. A few moments later, Lucy is pulled aside by the bridesmaids, the bride having a meltdown. Charlotte admits she could have done anything with her life, but she's choosing marriage, partly because her sister seemed jealous of her fiancé. Lucy reminds her that the man she's marrying makes her feel valuable, and that's what matters. It's enough to calm her down, and the wedding goes on. Moments later, the wedding actually happened. We see the bride and groom standing at the altar and sealing it with a kiss. Not bad for someone who was having a full-blown identity crisis 5 minutes ago. After the ceremony, Lucy is approached by Harry, who turns out he's the groom's brother. He makes some small talk and compliments her matchmaking skills, saying he overheard her earlier. When he asks what it's like being in her line of work, she says it feels more like working in a morgue or insurance. Love just happens like paperwork and death. Then, completely missing the tone, he asks if she's hitting on him. Sir, she literally just compared romance to a funeral. Relax. Lucy quickly shuts it down and says, definitely not.
I do think that you would be a great match for a lot of our clients.
Just then, someone sets a can of Coke and a bottle of beer in front of her. She turns around, and there he is, her ex, John, and apparently a waiter at the wedding. He greets her and gives her a quick hug. Inside, everyone's dancing and celebrating. A little later, Lucy steps outside and spots John by the catering van, casually smoking like they're not standing in the middle of unresolved history. They start talking. He asks why she thinks the newlyweds are perfect for each other. Her answer? Same background, same politics, same level of attractiveness. Then he hits her with a curveball. Were we soulmates? She pauses and says,
Probably.
The conversation softened. He admits he didn't expect to see her tonight. She tells him she missed him. He asks if she's seeing someone new, and if there's anyone she imagines ending up with. Before things get too awkward, he offers her a ride home. She agrees. Yeah, we should catch up. She heads back to the reception and approaches Harry. She hands him a calling card and tells him if he agrees to dance with her, she'll call him. Harry replies that he's going to call her too, but not to hire her as his matchmaker. That's when Lucy realizes, oh wait, this man is trying to date me. So she tells him I'm probably not the kind of woman you want to date, because the next man I go out with will be the man I marry. Harry then asks her what she's looking for in a man. She tells him straight up rich, and not just rich. Honestly, some girls want emotional support, some want a yacht. Harry invites her to an after party, but Lucy politely turns it down, saying maybe next time. We cut to Lucy already in John's car, but then flashback. Same car, different times, way more tension. John refuses to pay $25 for parking. Lucy points out that if they cancel their dinner reservation, They'll still have to pay the same amount as a cancellation fee. He's instantly annoyed. She doesn't want to argue about money again, especially not on their anniversary. It brings up too much from her past. He eventually softens and says sorry, but the damage is done. She steps out of the car. He follows. That's when she admits she never used to care that he was broke. But now, she kind of does, and she hates herself for it. He says he doesn't hate her, but she cuts him off. The problem isn't love, it's money. Or as Sheriff 7 would say, love didn't leave the chat. Poverty did. That night, he drops her off. She thanks him and heads inside. The next day, she's back at work with a new round of male clients. The first guy says he wanted a woman with a combined personality of all 4 of his last matches, because apparently women are now building their own character setting. The next guy says he only dates women born in the year 2000, so she's either too old or in diapers. The last one wants someone fit with nothing over 20 BMI. She'll be fit to run far away from you. The next morning, Lucy meets up with Harry again. At this point, we can really see that he's genuinely interested in her. On their next date, they start getting to know each other better. That's when we learn that both of Harry's parents work in finance. On one of their dates, she finally lays it all out. She tells him she's getting older. Her looks are on a countdown, and the baby-making window closing fast. She breaks it down for him. If he really wanted to marry someone younger, a 25-year-old would probably look just like her anyway. Plus, she's in debt. Her acting career flopped, and she's still emotionally recovering from 50 Shades. Basically, she's not the fantasy. So she just looks at him like, the math's not matching. What's he even doing with her? Harry hits her with a line so smooth it should be illegal. Basically, he's not here to flex wealth. He's offering partnership, something real, something long-term, and maybe even a little poetic. That's when Lucy finally admits it's not the money that pulled her in, it's how he makes her feel. Seen, valuable, because let's face it, yachts are cool, but emotional validation, that's luxury. Without missing a beat, he seals the moment. One thing leads to another. Next thing you know, they're kissing the hallway, clothes coming off, and Harry's carrying her to bed like they're in a perfume commercial. You know the rest. Somewhere in the middle of all that, John calls, leaves a voicemail, inviting her to see his new play. John wakes up and immediately steps on a used condom, still fuming. John marches into his roommate's room only to find some random girl passed out on the bed, completely unfazed by the chaos in the kitchen. He just stands there, staring. This isn't a home. It's a rotating Airbnb of shame. The next morning, she wakes up to find that Harry already made her breakfast and even left her a spare key to his place. After eating, she hops on some calls to catch up with her clients. That's when she finds out Mark actually wants to go on a second date with Sophie. Later at the office, she casually tells one of her co-workers that she's been seeing Harry, but the vibe shifts when her boss calls her in for a meeting. That's when she finds out Sophie was assaulted by Mark, and now she's suing the company. Shocked, she asks if she can visit Sophie, but her boss shuts it down immediately, and then drops another bomb. This isn't the first time someone's gotten hurt while using their matchmaking service. Lucy rushes to the bathroom. She pulls out her notes, finds Mark's file, and starts crying, blaming herself for what happened to Sophie. Later that day, Harry picks her up. They go to see John play Yes. She's there to show support. After the show, she introduces the two of them. They all head to a bar afterward. While Harry chats with someone else, Lucy tells John she's proud of him. John then asks if she's okay. That's when she finally opens up, saying she's not sure she's good at her job anymore. Not after what happened to Sophie. She goes home that night with Harry, but it's clear she's not okay. The next day, Lucy's back at work, but the clients are worse than ever. One wants a Christian, conservative, lesbian dog person. Another will only date white people. And the last drops a 2-page checklist because she thinks she's a catch. Lucy just looks her in the eye and says, "You're not a catch. You're not a fish." Then her boss hits her with more bad news. A client canceled, calling the agency a scam. Lucy's still spiraling from Sophie's assault, and now it's all catching up. Her boss suggests a break. For weeks, try to reset. Meanwhile, the office is celebrating another match. But Lucy's not in the mood to pop champagne. Instead, she stalks Sophie's socials, then shows up at her apartment. Sophie sees her and runs. But Lucy catches up, apologizes, says she didn't know what kind of man Mark was. Sophie stops, looks her dead in the face, and says he's the kind of guy who follows you into the bathroom and assaults you. Then she walks away, but not before hitting Lucy with one final line.
Fuck you. Pimp.
Later that day, still shaken from what happened with Sophie, Lucy calls John and tells him everything. He offers comfort, even invites her over, but she declines. That night, while Harry's in the shower, Lucy finds a ring tucked away in his luggage. She pretends not to see it. Back in bed, she absent-mindedly runs her fingers across his skin, waking him up. They start talking, and that's when he opens up about the scars on his legs. Turns out, he had leg lengthening surgery added 6 inches just to feel enough. It's at that moment Lucy finally says it. She doesn't love him, not in a romantic way. What they have feels more like a transaction than a relationship. And love? Love's supposed to be simple. No calculations, no formulas. Harry admits he's not sure he's even capable of it. They don't fight. They don't cry. They just shake hands and call it what it is. Over, she packs her things, books a taxi, and shows up at John's place. Tells him she was supposed to be in Iceland, even sublet her apartment, but clearly she's not going anywhere. They drive around and end up watching a stranger's wedding. Then why not crash the afterparty? And during the dance, something snaps. They kiss passionately, like two people trying to undo every mistake. But just as fast as it started, John pulls away. He runs. She runs after him. He turns and asks what they're even doing, if they're getting back together. She doesn't have an answer. That's when he says he sees a future with her, and if he were really her friend, he wouldn't let her date someone like him. He tells her to find someone better. He says he can't give her the wedding she's always dreamed of. That's when she cracks. She says maybe it's because he doesn't even want her, because deep down he sees that she is judgmental, materialistic, cold. She confesses she left him because he was broke, and if he hates her, it's valid, because she's awful. And with that, she walks away. Suddenly, her phone lights up. It's Sophie. Mark's outside her building, ringing the doorbell on repeat, but not breaking in. And the cops won't do anything unless he does. Lucy rushes over. Sophie lets her in. They sit. They talk. And Lucy tells her exactly what she needs to hear. By morning, Lucy steps out and tells John to go home. She's staying on Sophie's couch, but John doesn't move. He looks at her like he's already made up his mind. Loving her, he says, isn't hard. It's the easiest thing he's ever done. She finally admits that she still loves him too. And then comes the real proposal. Not with a ring, but with words. He says he'll love her till he dies. That's his offer. They shake on it. Deal, she says. Then she kisses him and bites his lip. Later on, Lucy gets a call from her boss offering her a major promotion, but she doesn't take the bait. Instead, she says she's quitting. Her boss urges her to think about it, then hangs up